Ba-ba-da-bow-bow, Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo! Woo! Very nice. Welcome in, one and all, to Banger Management, the Fantasy Hockey Podcast with Jake, Josh, and Kevin. Woo. Today, our Week 19 waivers episode. This is going to be a good one. Can't believe it. We are 2 weeks away from the fantasy playoffs, depending on your league, maybe 3 weeks away, but still,
It's nuts.
already here. Wild stuff. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Rate us 5 stars if you like the episode. Similarly, we are on YouTube. Definitely follow our channel if you've been listening to us for a while, or if you like the episode, and also give this video a like. All the socials are in the podcast description, and usually we do a little lollygagging before I do my intro for the socials, and we already mentioned the Discord, but you will hear Discord throughout the episode because that is our place to interact with all the listeners or viewers, depending on how you're taking in the content. So definitely join that Discord community. You can also see that link in the podcast or YouTube video description. Okay, did everybody see the Team USA party at 11 Miami? That crazy video? No, you didn't see that?
I didn't see
JT
it.
Miller started singing like a Toby Keith song, and Charlie McAvoy was in a Mike Eruzione jersey. For all you cultured fans who have seen Miracle on Ice, that was pretty hype. I'm still sad Canada lost, but you gotta give credit where it's due. That was kind of cool to see him in that jersey.
Nothing tops Miracle on Ice for Jakey.
One day, you too, you'll see what all the hype is about. And by all the hype, I mean I am like, please watch the movie.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna watch the Disney version just to spite you. I'm gonna be like, oh, I watched it. It sucked.
Watch my version. If you can get through it, I'll be impressed, honestly.
I'll just put it on.
The other one is so great. I still that memory of us discussing it and then me realizing what was it 3 weeks later, you were like, all right, I have something to tell you. I didn't watch the right Miracle on Ice. That's gonna live rent free in my head forever.
I honestly I only said it a few weeks later because I only realized a few weeks later. Like I just thought that was the movie, and I was like, wait, there's a Disney version. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
All right.
One day, guys. One day.
Let's get started with our Week 18 picks. This is a bit of a rough one. I think we went a bit too hard on a team that is actually garbage. So we'll get right into it. We'd recommended Jordan Eberle. Since then, he's played 4 games, 1 goal, 0 assists, 1 point. That's an L. Seattle sucks. We also recommended Matty Beniers, 4 games played, 0 points, another L. I think my new rule for rest of the season, and barring some crazy trade, I'm no longer recommending Seattle guys in our top 3. I think it was a little
ambitious.
They're not good. Yeah, they had a little hot run for a bit.
Team.
No, not right now, but they're close.
I'm with you.
But we also recommended the plural of Matt Zuccarello, and 3 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. That's a big W. So I mean, he's our new Ryan O'Reilly. He's gonna be in like every recommendation. Actually, today he might not be in the top 3, but he's definitely on the episode. He's gonna be in every episode until he gets to 40% because that's just too low rostered for a guy of his deployment and skill. So that brings us to 31-17 on the season. I'm hoping we can bump this number up between now and rest of the season. So, and I think we will. This week I'm really excited about our list. I mean, I always am, but this is a really good one. Some weeks it's easier than others.
I'm
looking at
the standings.
Yeah.
Seattle has the last wild card spot with 61 points. Sorry, 63 points. And Nashville is right behind them with 61 points. Nashville. And then it's LA with 60.
Yeah.
They all have the same amount of games played. That's crazy.
Even San Jose's at 58, but they have like 2 games in hand.
2 games in hand.
Yeah. No, there's that. It's all wide open. And then you look at like the top 3 in that division, like the Pacific, like Edmonton's at like 66. They're not a lock for top 3 in their division. I mean, they kind of are because they're just so much they're better. They should be, you know, but points wise, they're not. And then Anaheim also is not that much further ahead, or Vegas even. It's just that they're both playing well and they're actually good teams. So, but yeah, it's going to be a really interesting finish for both the East and West. It's been a while since like both conferences have an interesting race. I feel like the last couple of years it's been one of them's really hype and the other one's like super like done like weeks in advance. So
I think even Winnipeg is still in it. like they're further ahead definitely, but they have the quality to like win a string of games over these other teams.
I don't know. I'm not a Winnipeg believer.
I know, but I'm just saying, like if things go right, like in 5 games they could be in the picture type of thing.
For sure. Like pure numbers wise, I agree. Like that's how close it is, but they're not going to do it. But anyways, let's get into the week 19 schedule. So this week there's only one 2-game team, that is Washington. Before Kevin has to preface or rewind me, who are some guys to drop on Washington on a 2-game
week? Good
week?
Influence on you now.
Are you dropping PLD?
I'm dropping
after
PLD.
His 3-point game last night.
Ooh.
I
don't have him in any leagues, so it's like tough for me to be like, yeah, just drop him after a 3-point game, But
I think I'd hold him. Like
you would hold?
Yeah, I would hold PLD unless you have to. Like if you're
put yourself in a situation like you need to win the matchup, you need to make the playoffs. Like if you lose this matchup, you're not making the playoffs. That's kind of like what's at risk.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, yeah, like, and compare it to like, without spoiling it, but just like for yourself, like look at our list, look at like the top 3 guys, who all have I think 4 games this coming week. Like, would you drop PLD for any of those guys without naming them? Like just to give you the idea of whether he's worth dropping. I would.
I don't know.
I would drop for the top 3.
Yeah.
The top 3. I don't think I would drop for number 3, but maybe the others.
I think if it's a must-win week for you, then it's a no-brainer to do that flip. But
this 2 games versus 4 games, so you're already getting way
6
more.
shots, 3 points in his most recent game that he played.
I know, but he's still power play 2. He's line 2, power play 2. So like, do I think this is sustainable?
I don't. If he was power play 1, I'd feel a lot more upset about dropping him. And like, if it wasn't a 2-game week, I wouldn't be dropping him. But I think if you're in one of those must-win matchups, then I think he's droppable. Obviously, every situation is different, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't say he's undroppable. I would drop John Carlson. Hot take, maybe. I mean, he's also injured right now, but if he comes back and you have to like drop someone to bring him off IR, like honestly, I'm fine dropping him if you're fighting for playoff spot. And then
everybody traded him when we said to trade him.
For sure.
We gave so many opportunities, like so many windows to be like, get him off your roster right now, please.
I know. I really hope that everyone got rid of him. And then all the other top guys you're not dropping. You're not going to drop like Ovechkin or Strome or Chychrun.
Or Wilson.
Or Wilson, obviously, yeah.
But like Ryan Leonard out?
Yeah, I would drop him for sure.
Sordif out, McMichael out, Protus.
Yeah,
no.
I'll drop him.
You guys are crazy.
I'm honestly like, I wouldn't even roster Protus. Like,
listen,
listen.
In his past 6 games, he's not gotten a point in 1 of those, and in 3 of them, he's gotten 2 points.
What's his average points per game on the season?
0.72, but in the last month, I know obviously Olympics, big asterisk, it's 1.14.
Okay,
I'm looking at the season stats.
Yeah.
So you're sooner to keep PLD over Protus?
Yeah, 100%.
And
I would drop both.
And are you that confident you'd like keep both of those guys over Strome?
No, I'd take Strome over both those
Strome
guys.
over them?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, interesting. I wouldn't say easy, especially considering Strome doesn't shoot and most leagues don't have faceoffs. I'm taking Protus out of the equation. I feel like PLD could have easily as good of a week next week as Strome.
Sure, in a 2-game week, like tiny sample size, sure, but rest of the season, I'm easily taking Strome. Like, it's not close.
If you're,
you have to justify picking up like, this line 1 power play 1 guy that plays with like good deployment and has 4 games over this line 2 power play 2 guy or line 2 no power play that plays 2 games. It's just kind of like when you put it like that, it feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If by the time you're listening to this, Leonard is bumped off for PLD, then I think I'm feeling much better about keeping PLD. So I think we could all agree there. Like,
I mean,
it's
even
so
then,
crazy. They put him there the first game back. He did well, and then they were just like, all right, well, let's bump him back.
That's why I like if I see him on power play 1, I'm not assuming he's power play 1 rest of the season. Like, I think it's super not a stronghold, and I also think they're going to acquire someone and pop them on power play 1 in that last spot. So I'm fine dropping PLD for a 2-game week. I think that's I think that covers most of the guys, and then I think that covers most of Washington. And then in terms of 4-game teams, there's actually a ton, so I'm not going to list all of them. The busy nights are Tuesday and Saturday, and 2 off-night teams. Again, that's almost the whole league. So off nights shouldn't be too big of an issue for you guys this week. So let's get into our top 10 points, guys. As always, under 40% owned. As always, prefacing before Kevin gets to it, if you're in a league that has guys who are higher than 40% owned available on waivers, there are probably better options available to you than who we've got on here. So, just shoot us a message in the Discord and we'll help you out.
Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate that.
We have a few over 40%ers in our league, but like one of them is Devon Tays, so like that doesn't count.
He's finally on waivers. I feel like every year we're like, why is this guy rostered?
Yeah, but also he was like number 1 most added for the past like week, and I'm like, why? Just
because he plays with Mantha at the Olympics.
This is literally like one of the things that pisses me off the most in fantasy for some reason. Like this specifically, Devon Taves ownership percentage, for years this has been upsetting me. I just don't understand. The only thing I could think of is plus minus leagues, and we kind of tune those out because they're a joke. But like, okay, that's the only thing I can think of. He does nothing else. Why is he always so high rostered? Why are people adding him? I don't get it.
I feel like 20% of his roster percentage is like people that drafted him off name value and then like checked out. So it's just like dead teams that are not even relevant to fantasy anymore. And then the other 20% is like, or 15% is like people that play in plus minus leagues, and then the last 5% is people that are just making bad decisions.
Okay,
5 to 7%.
You know what? I'm good with that breakdown. In past years, he's been like 70% owned.
Yeah,
it's just
the name value.
Yeah.
Forsling and Tays are the biggest anomalies for all.
Yeah, at least Forsling used to shoot. Like, I mean, he doesn't anymore, but like at least he had that going for him for like a season or two. But yeah, still, like I fully agree. Those two drive me nuts.
I will say though, like Yahoo every year, I play in a lot of like random Yahoo public leagues just so I can keep a pulse on like the rest of the league and how like the general public situation is. And every year the system changes. Like some years it's points, some years it's cats. So I think some years it definitely benefits him more when there's plus minus or whatever. But like some years there's just no plus minus and it's more points and blah blah and changes the roster percentage. Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, so let's get into our top 10 points, guys, for this week. I could go off on this topic way too long. Kevin, why don't you start us off with
number 10?
All right, at number 10, we've got the only defenseman on the list, but I love having a D option on here for you guys. So we've got Sam Rinzel of the Chicago Blackhawks. Only 3 games this week and next week, but he is the new Power Play 1 quarterback for Chicago. He was the Power Play 1 quarterback leading into the Olympics, so this is not a brand new thing. I think he's going to have a decent leash on it, so I don't expect him to get demoted in the near future. And we've all been hyping up how good Bedard is going to be rest of the season. Mm-hmm. And I think he's the type of player who makes everyone around him better. So I think being the Power Play 1 quarterback on his team has a lot of potential. Rinzel's been averaging like 3 shots a game over the past like 5 games, which is super, super useful. Hits and blocks I expect to be more inconsistent, but like it's not straight zeros, which is nice to see. And I think it's a high potential pickup for sure.
I just picked him up, so I'm invested, but I did my due diligence before. I mean, listen, we all remember when Lev Shinov was like the main guy here and everybody was picking him up and streamed him, and then he kind of fell off. He got scratched. He got sent down. They brought Rinzel back up, so like he's not oblivious to being able to be sent down either. But he's kind of run away with this a little bit. Like he's had what? Not oblivious. Oblivious was the wrong word.
To being sent
down. Immune to being sent down.
Immune.
No, but that's not the word. Okay. There's another word that sounds more like oblivious. Anyways, I'll think of it. Keep going.
I was trying to think of that, but I couldn't get there.
So wait a second. What?
He's not immune to being sent down. Oh, now I'm thinking about it too.
You just keep going. I'm looking it up in the thesaurus.
Thank you. And so his shot volume is really high. Like Josh said, he's played 4 games at the top level with his first power play unit. He's averaged 3 shots a game. 3 shots literally every game. He's not going to hit, though. Like, he's going to get you 0 hits or maybe 1 or 2 every odd game, but I'm not banking on it. But the blocks, honestly, like, I'm encouraged that they could be part of his game, but it's not like a main thing. But at the end of the day, you just want the exposure to Connor Bedard on this power play 1 with the higher points upside there. And I think he provides that. And the fact that you're able to pick up, a power play 1 defenseman this late into the season leading up to the fantasy playoffs, like if you're in a deeper league, he's currently only 8% owned. So he's still widely available. Are we saying this is sustainable for long term? Like, is he oblivious to getting sent down? No,
I think it's.
But while
were you
there,
thinking like
right.
insusceptible? Maybe I don't know.
No. I don't know what I was thinking. It's too early in the morning, but
yeah.
So I agree. It's a short-term hold with a decent amount of potential there. Lev Shinov really fell off when Bedard got hurt. The whole team started being horrible with the injury, and with him there back now being able to take faceoffs, alluding to the fact that he's almost fully healthy, it could be a really good opportunity for Rinzel to benefit from being power play one there.
Yeah. So we'll see, but the shots is very promising.
Yep.
All right, let's go to
Number 9.
At number 9, he keeps popping up on this list despite not actually performing that great lately, but it's Josh Stone of the Buffalo Sabres. He's currently line 3, power play 1. I view that line more as line 2. It's him, Norris, and Ostlund, but I mean, him and Norris are both way better than their current line 2 of like McLeod and Zucker and I think Quinn maybe. I don't know, but yeah, no. So anyways, line 3 with an asterisk, power play 1. They have a 4-game week, which is the main reason that he's being recommended, and like he still has such high potential. We saw him get paid this season, and they want him to succeed. Buffalo is the 6th best team in the league right now. I was looking at the standings earlier before, like 6th best in the entire league, and their power play's like been solid this year. Like, and he's kind of locked onto it. They've kind of figured out what they like. They like having Dahlin, obviously. Then you've got Tage, Norris, Doan, and Zucker, and they have not messed with that at all. So I think anyone on that power play 1 is worth a look, especially on a 4-game week, and especially with how well this team is rolling. And Doan has a ton of potential as a young guy who could just pop out of nowhere.
I have a few questions. Or do you want to go first, Jakey?
Yeah, just to say, I mean, this is like a really boom or bust one. I don't think by any means there's any safety with picking him up. Like, he has and may honestly continue to just not do much of anything. I guess like the slight encouraging element to his game is that there are games that even if he doesn't get points, he could get hits. So yes, this is the points category. That's what we're hoping for here. But he sort of can do one thing a game, it seems. Like, he'll either get you points or he'll get you hits. So
yeah.
So hopefully if you pick him up, he does the one that you need for this week. That's all I'm saying. Just looking at his most recent trends. But like, I'm not saying I don't necessarily like this one. I don't disagree with him being there. It's like closer to the bottom of the list. But look, the deployment line 3 is discouraging with the power play 1. Something should happen, but it hasn't for the past little bit. But yeah,
I was gonna say, like, so how, because I like Dome, and we've recommended him a lot in the past. I know he's on your fantasy team. Do you think this is like the process was there, or were we a little bit too biased because we have exposure to him in our main circle, let's say?
Yeah, I think like I stand by the process. I mean, I was looking into it a lot, like during the Olympic break, pre-Olympic break. He had like some hot stretches, but definitely inconsistent, which makes sense with a young player, right? And like a lot of the underlying metrics just had him as the best Buffalo Sabre this whole like year. And which is crazy when Tage is having like one of his best seasons ever. Yep. Dahlin's obviously amazing, all that, but like all the like underlying like metrics were kind of like saying like this guy's really good. And I mean, he got paid, right? Like they were seeing that too. The fans love him. Like team loves him. Like I'm really surprised by that he's stuck on line 3 when like as far as I can tell, everyone inside and out of the organization is a huge fan of his. So all that, with the fact that he's kind of like that lottery ticket of being a young guy who just got traded to a new team that's finally doing well. He's got power play 1, like he's got solid like power play deployment. So I think the process was there. But I think at the end of the day, like I feel like I always kind of like framed it as like it's a very high upside pick, but like the downside is he could be putting up zeros, which is kind of what he's done the last like a week. Honestly, if he didn't have a 4-game week this week, I probably wouldn't have included him in this list. But I think on a 4-game week, he's worth taking a shot on. I mean, once we're talking about this, let's just also talk about the next one. At
number 8.
At number 8, we've got Jason Zucker, also of Buffalo, line 2, power play 1, and not on the list, but also should be mentioned is Josh Norris of Buffalo, line 3, power play 1. That whole kind of cluster, we've talked about them a lot. And look, I put Zucker higher just because I feel like at this point, like just having like his floor, I feel like is higher than Doan's. Yeah, exactly. So it's like safer. Like for this week, I think Zucker's probably the better pickup. For rest of season, I'd rather take Doan just on the off chance he pops off. But and then Norris, he just hasn't been as good as I expected going into the season, but he still has also that potential of having been really good in the past. So I think that whole cluster of players is definitely worth taking a look on. I think most likely to pop off, like the highest ceiling, I think is Doan. The like highest floor is Zucker, and then like Norris is like in the middle of both, if that makes sense.
I think Norris has the highest ceiling because his ceiling is he plays line 1 and Tage is his right wing. And then
Yeah.
I think that would be the highest ceiling. I just think that's the least likely outcome at this point with the sample size that we have.
Yeah, I think Doan's more likely to get bumped up to line 1 with Tage than Norris is, because I think they kind of just like Tage at center right now. So
yeah.
But anyways, like that whole cluster, like I feel like if you have if we have to give recommendation, if the listeners have all 3 available in their leagues, how are we ranking the 3 of them? I think we did this last week also, but it's good to keep tabs on it and let people know, because I think in most leagues all 3 guys should probably be available.
I think Zucker's still my favorite, and then probably it's close between Doan and Norris, but I think Doan, like you said, has like the better chance to hit his potential, even though I think Norris has a higher ceiling.
Yeah. I think I'm going Zucker, Doan, Norris. But I mean, like, it also depends. Like for me, I'm taking Doan over Zucker just because I want that high upside, But if you want the more consistent, then you'd go with Zucker.
But if you're streaming, that means you're probably dropping this guy like the week after or something, right? So it's like
that's why Zucker's ranked higher. Yeah.
But my main question for these. Oh, go ahead, Jakey.
No, I also think that like if you're in a league where all 3 of these guys are rostered, you should just maybe go for a better option that's going to be later on the list, because Doan's 28% owned. Like, that's like not nothing, And I know it's deceiving because Zucker's more like 10, 11%. But yeah, I agree, Zucker's safer. So if you're in a position where you're streaming for you need the home run, I would say maybe Norris has the highest ceiling, like Kevin was saying, and then Zucker best floor.
We have to move on from these Buffalo guys, but also I just want to say, like, last thing, are you worried at all with like how they're performing? And Zach Benson is soon to return, and also we've heard like that Buffalo wants to buy. Like, are you worried that they might buy somebody that bumps one of these guys off power play 1?
Not for this week. Not for this week.
Not for this week.
Not for this week.
We're talking
this
about
is a streaming option.
Term.
Yeah. For long term, like if they pick a guy and then one of them gets bumped off power play 1, and I think Zucker's the least likely to be bumped off power play 1. That's kind of like
imagine the trade for Kadri.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
I can see Buffalo doing something like that. I'm not saying it's the move that they should make, but I feel like that's the type of thing that they would do.
Yeah.
That would maybe put Norris in a bad spot, actually.
It could.
Because then, I would say in general, Norris is a bit safer on the power play 1 over Doan, but if they get Kadri, I think they'll...
Yeah, I will say I'm not worried about Benson bumping off any of them from power play 1. We've seen him when he was healthy, he wasn't on there. So that aspect of it I'm not worried about. But in terms of a trade, I think absolutely, if they're trading for a top tier like forward, they're going to put him on power play 1. And one of the 3 guys we listed is going to be the one who gets bumped. So definitely something to keep an eye out on. But the ones who don't get bumped are going to get a better forward to play with in this situation. So a lot of upside, but also risk.
Yeah. But again, this would be on this week.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to
number 7.
At number 7, he hasn't been on here in a while, but 4-game week, and he's power play 1 at the moment. We've got Patrick Kane of the Detroit Red Wings. He's started shooting again, which is nice. And he's kind of back on that, like I said, back on that power play 1.
Shooting pucks.
JVR is a thing of the past, so thankfully. There's another one of those situations, though, where like for this week I like it, especially it's for like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, which is like a great schedule. But I think Detroit's definitely buying, and they are probably looking for a second line center. I think that's their main goal. Like, let's say like a Trocheck, something like that. And there's a chance that whoever gets acquired bumps Kane off power play 1. So that's something to monitor. But if they do get a Trocheck and he doesn't bump Kane off power play 1, then that just makes his even strength even better and keeps his power plays good. So I think Kane has a high upside to finish the season strong. I feel like also like he was kind of dealing with injuries for a while, and maybe this like Olympic break did some good for him. It's we talk about how the Olympic break could be good for the young guys because they're not used to the rigors of the NHL season. It could also be good for the old guys who, maybe are a bit like sore and stuff and a bit past their young spry days. So a nice break like that can help them out and help them get rid of some nagging injuries.
So we were talking before about, Buffalo, if they acquire someone, same with Detroit, as you mentioned. Now the trade deadline is March 6th. That's this coming Friday. And then honestly, I still think that for a stream, for a good schedule like Detroit or Buffalo, you're fine to take any one of these guys for this week. I don't think that the transition of getting that new player is going to bump or change these players' deployment at all. Would you agree? Like if they get Trocheck, do you think Kane is playing to the Sunday on power play 1?
No, I think if they get Trocheck, he might bump Kane off.
That day, he may not even play. I suppose there's no visa issues because he's already in New York. And that happens sometimes.
I mean, the thing is, it doesn't have to be like he gets traded on the Friday. Like he could get traded on Wednesday, and then he's got a day to practice or whatever. But I think in concept, like if they sign like a Trocheck or something, I think Kane would probably be bumped off. Unless it's like a guy that's going to be in like their bottom 6 or something, then I don't think that guy has the pull. But if they're trading for Trocheck,
Kane is the one to go. Like on this,
absolutely.
Yeah, but it depends who they go for. Right? I mean, I do think Trocheck in all likelihood won't bump him off, although it's not 100% because Trocheck also brings many other things to the game, and they have the other 4 are a complete lock, and it would be weird to see either Larkin or Trocheck not play center. Just because that's like they're so stable at that.
Yeah. But it's always good to have 2 guys that go in faceoffs because if one guy gets bumped, you don't want your whole power play to fall apart because you lose the faceoff and lose the offensive zone. So
that's true.
Yeah, so it's something to keep an eye on, especially with this week being the trade deadline. But like we said, like the trade deadline is Friday, and if someone gets traded on the Friday, then most likely they're not playing until the Saturday or Sunday, something like that. So it is less likely to affect the bulk of this week as opposed to moving forward for the rest of the season.
By the way, Yahoo, if you're listening, can you like give an option to make the fantasy trade deadline on the same day as the actual trade deadline next year, please?
Yeah,
just want to put that out there.
Yeah, it sucks that the deadlines were set for like Feb 25 when like there's still so much craziness that can happen and so much fun.
You could have customized it, but not to make it on the 6th.
Yeah,
only the 4th. Why?
If it was possible, it wasn't possible for us for whatever reason. Like it was like, okay, you can pick any of these days, but not the actual trade deadline. It's weird.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways, let's move on to the next one.
All right, at number 6.
At number 6, we have Charlie Coyle of the Columbus Blue Jackets. He has a 4-game week this week and next week. And fun fact about the Blue Jackets, they've got 4-game weeks every week until week 23. So I've got Monahan on my team. I really want to drop him, but it's just nonstop 4-game weeks. And we have face-off wins as a category. So I'm like, I'm just going to hold him pretty much rest of the season because it's just a nonstop great streaming schedule. So Coyle, I'd way rather than Monahan with all those 4-game weeks coming up. He's on power play 1. Bonus really likes him there. He's been performing really well. So I was between Coyle and Marchment's recommendation, but Marchment got bumped down off power play 1 recently for Ken Johnson. So I'm taking Coyle as the kind of available guy. Obviously, your top 2 forwards are Marchenko and Fantilli, but those guys are more owned. So Coyle's my next pick.
I will say I was looking at practice lines like this morning as we're recording. Ken Johnson looks like he's a scratch.
Really?
Yep.
When are they just going to trade him already, honestly? I feel like he's just not fitting there. He had like a great like end of season, like was it last season or 2 seasons ago? And then I feel like since then, like he's been getting scratched and just like 4th line and whatever. Like I feel like they can get something good back for him if they're not willing to play him.
I don't know, but I think it's definitely disappointing because I feel like it's been multiple coaches now that are giving him the opportunity, and maybe he's just not doing something that they're looking for because it hasn't really worked out. But I think Charlie Coyle, the fact that he's line 3 doesn't even scare me because he's playing with Matthew Olivier, the GOAT. If you know, you know. But and if I know, I'm depressed, which I am. Wait, Josh, you play Matthew Olivier this upcoming week, right?
Unfortunately, I do, but we'll get to that in
we'll
the bangers section.
But we can move on. But I like Charlie Coyle a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to
number 5.
At number 5, we have my boy, my signature pick. I was never in doubt ever. Dylan Holloway of the St. Louis Blues. I'm putting big quotation marks over line 3 power play 2 because their lines are meaningless. They kind of roll both even strength and power play lines, whichever. Like their lines make no sense. Like Holloway gets 3 goals and an assist, and then they decide to just completely switch up that line. Like in practice, I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? I don't know. But anyways, only 3 games this week, but he just did so well his first game back and obviously we're all pretty hype about him. So, and a 4-game week following that. So he's still in the top half of this list. And I just think that his potential is super high. He's a double-double who also has that high points potential. We saw how he ended the season last season, right? And like, we're at this point in the season, right? Obviously, he's had a disappointing time leading up to this, but the past is the past. It's over. All that we're doing is looking forward rest of the season, and there's no reason to me he can't be like a 0.8 points per game guy over double-double, which I'm like, if you can pick that up for free. I mean, he's like at like 37% owned, especially after that hat trick. Like, I feel like his percent is going to jump up a bit, but if he's still available in your league, I love him as a pickup.
He has... and I know this is kind of in the playoffs, there are 2, 3, 4 weeks, 21 to 23. But of anybody on this list, he is the best player to own in bangers leagues for the quote unquote long term. Not that there's many, weeks left in the season, but Yeah, he can really be a huge difference maker. He's one of those guys that's in the points category, easily also could be in the bangers category. Although he doesn't have a hit over the last month, but he has 5 shots and 4 points average, aka over that one crazy game. Still salty that I traded him. Overall, it makes sense where you have him. I also, there will be volatility to his game, like no doubt about it, just coming back from a big injury and on a St. Louis team that is super volatile inherently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already comfortable in a playoff position, I'd say he's probably the best person to pick up on this team. If you don't need the win this week, he's the guy that I would go for number one.
And I will say for the playoff schedule quickly, and sorry, even though they're at 2-3-4, first of all, they have a ton of off nights, and that 2-game week, the teams they're playing are Vancouver and Calgary. So that's almost like a 4-game week, you know, with how bad those opponents are.
He can get 3 points in both of those games.
For sure. Yeah. So just something to note.
Okay, wait. Just the Columbus power play lines came out. Power play 1 is Werenski, Marchenko, Fantilli, Marchment, Coyle. So Marchment back up there instead of Kent Johnson.
I'm still taking Coyle over Marchment. Yeah.
But I guess you could say that it's like a Coyle or Marchment type thing.
Coyle,
there. Like, guys, Coyle you prefer, but like Marchment, if he's available, you can definitely, because he was not on this list because he wasn't power play 1, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
The thing with Coyle that I like a lot is that the coach really like trusts him with important minutes. Like he's playing line 3, which is like a defensive line, let's say, but he's getting good matchups on the ice to take advantage of those offensively. And then power play 1 and then PK 1. So you know that he's just probably going to get like so many minutes, and he's out there just getting the peripherals and everything. So I like Coyle. On Holloway, I will say, if they trade pieces, I expect him to be the first name up on that power play 1. Because I do think right now it's like a power play 1, power play 2. Like if you look at the names on there, you're kind of like, okay, if I had to pick one unit to be way better than the other, it's going to be this one. But I can see them trading Kyrou. I can see them trading Buchnevich, like Braden Shen. Like all of these guys, their names are in trade bait right now. So Thomas, maybe. So I'd keep an eye out. But I think Dylan Holloway, like we said, double-double. That means 2 hits, 2 shots. I think that's super valuable in Bangers League. So if he's available, keep an eye out.
Yeah. All right, let's go to
number 4.
At number 4, we have our boy who will be on every episode until he hits 40%, Matt Zuccarello of the Minnesota Wild, line 1, power play 1. He's not in the top 3 just because of his 3-game week. If he had a 4-game week, he would be in there. And he's got 4 games the week after, so spoiler for next week's episode. But if you guys don't make him hit 40%, he will probably be in that top 3 next week. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, this is just, we don't have to go over it. We talk about it every week, but he's playing with Kaprizov, even strength, power play. That since Quinn Hughes came to Minnesota, their whole offense has been completely rejuvenated. And I mean, they were already really good, but now they're like top in the league. So this is really a no-brainer, and I'm still shocked that he's so low owned.
It's crazy. I think he's like the worst best player on everybody's team. It's like everybody that has Zuccarello, he's like the first man out if they need to cut for somebody else. But then he just ends up being better than like most of the waiver options because he's so consistent with his point production. Like, I look at his game log, I look at his averages, and I'm just like, if you put this on Jesper Bratt this season, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, 0.9 points, 0.35 power play points, 2 shots a game. Like, you know, I drafted Bratt to be higher, but I'm not getting that. I'm not even getting this from Jesper Bratt. And Jesper Bratt was, you know, supposed to be a first round, like, not a first round pick, but like a over point per game player. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's always. He's loved by every team that he plays on. It's like Granlund vibes in that sense.
Yeah.
So he's gonna. I think this deployment for him is pretty safe. It's been like this for a while at this point.
Yeah.
I just wish he had 2 shots on.
Crazy.
I wish he had 2 shots per game on the season. That would just look like a little bit better. That being said, I feel like if he had that, that's like the psychological barrier for people picking him up and bumping him over 40%. So we could keep having stellar recommendations because he's below 2.
Exactly.
Honestly, that's the one thing that looks quote unquote bad on his stat sheet. Otherwise, it's great.
1.95 is like as close as you can get.
Almost. I know. I know.
0.05,
but it's not number 2. No. Okay.
All right. Let's go to our top ones.
All right. At number 3.
And number 3, big bump since we mentioned him like less than a week ago on the 18.5 waivers episode. But we've got Anthony Mantha of the Pittsburgh Penguins. 4-game week, line 2, power play 1. Like the big difference between this week and last week is we are now confirmed that Crosby's out for at least 4 weeks. I mean, now I'm seeing like maybe it's whatever, around 4 weeks, something like that. He's going to be out pretty much. I expect him to be done for the fantasy season and back for the real playoffs. Is kind of where I'm seeing maybe a few games before just to get back into things. But Mantha's going to be the power play one guy who takes over for Crosby. And now obviously that power play gets a lot worse without Crosby. But, they were like 4th in the league. So you get a lot worse. You can still drop to like 14th and still be a super nice power play to be on. We've seen him be successful in the past with this deployment, and a 4-game week just makes it all a no-brainer. They have a great playoff schedule. Honestly, Mantha for me is a hold as long as Crosby's out. And if Crosby's out rest of the fantasy season, then I'm holding Mantha the rest of the fantasy season.
Yeah. So the scary part here, it's like a double-edged sword in a way. Like they're just going to be worse and score less goals. So I think that's kind of tough. I guess the silver lining to what I just said is that they're going to be fighting for the playoffs. So they're going to kind of have to score. And that actually may benefit, hopefully, Stuart Skinner if they have to consolidate. just putting it out there. But overall, I mean, this is an opportunity for him, and he has done really, really well with it. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Pittsburgh, and I really hope that they can actually push through and make the playoffs. And if they do, this is a huge opportunity for Mantha to be probably one of, if not their best point scorer, honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's going to be their best point scorer, but the
Malkin?
one, I think Malkin or Rust probably.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
my
but he could be in that conversation, like for sure.
he can be good. The one thing that I have a few thoughts on Pittsburgh in general. My general thoughts are I don't think Pittsburgh is expecting to make the playoffs, and I don't think they were expecting to make the playoffs. Like this was not their goal this season, right? I think Dubas has done a phenomenal job acquiring assets and like having his team be competitive. I think he's made like a lot of tremendous moves this season. The Stuart Skinner trade honestly was like phenomenal. Like look at Jari right now. The guy just every game is getting pulled. It's like embarrassing. I don't know what Edmonton's gonna do, but they messed up.
Kevin's about to go back into the TikTok
It's so crazy to me how vindicated I feel. Like it brings me so much joy to think back on like how right we were and how wrong other people were. But
in his first 12 appearances with the Edmonton Oilers, Tristan Jarry has posted a 3.85 goals against average and 0.864 save percentage.
Like just put in the e-bug at that point. But
honestly,
the other thing I wanted to say was that like I'm a little bit worried that because of the Crosby injury, now they start selling assets. Like I think Dubas can capitalize on Stuart Skinner too, and like flip him again on to somebody else. Wouldn't be shocked because given a lot of teams need goalies, but last game Mantha played line 3 power play 1, and you saw his minutes take down below 14 minutes. So that's something to keep an eye on because I think for some reason they were putting I think it's Avery Hayes on line 2 instead of him, and then they kind of put Malkin line 1. So the lines kind of got jumbled up last game. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. So just keep an eye out. I think line 3 power play 1 is definitely less valuable than top 6 in power play 1. So just keep an eye out there. And I'm curious to see how this Pittsburgh team goes. Like realistically, like would you make a move if you're them to trade 4 apiece?
If I'm them, I'm not making any moves, like any big splashes. I'm not making a big buy, but I'm also not selling. Like it's like Crosby's last or second to last year, something like that. They earned the right to play in the playoffs. Like, what is kind of message that send to your team when they're like second in the division and you start selling, right? And Crosby, they're saying he's going to be back for playoffs. So like, look, if he was out for the season, then they could be like, all right, we're cooked. Like, let's sell. But he's going to be back, and he's choosing to stay there and play there, right? So like, and I think he has a lot of sway, and I don't think he's going to be happy if he comes back. Like the
what if he comes back
community
and
meme
they're not
where
in the
like
playoff picture anymore?
I mean the community meme where like Troy walks back in with the pizza and everything's on fire, and he's like, "What happened?" No, like I mean they're so like they're second in their division. I think they have enough of a buffer that they're still going to be fine for playoffs even without Crosby. But I don't see them selling. Like they're not going to sell their Carlson, their Raquel, like the guys who like originally, like if they were doing terribly, they would have sold this season. I don't think they're selling, but I also don't think they're buying. Like with the uncertainty around Crosby, I don't think they're confident enough to. Like I think they might make some like small moves like they've been doing, just like good asset
Gerard
management
or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's just smart on their part. Like
100%. Like it was great, but like low stakes kind of moves. They're not going to make a big splash from
because they have so many second round picks now. Like they could use a couple of those to make a depth move or a middle 6 move.
They turned like Jarry into Skinner Gerard in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Jarry
was on waivers last year.
Ruined Edmonton's chances for playoffs.
Yeah, Jarry was on waivers last year.
Yeah,
I think if anything, they're more likely to buy than to sell.
The thing is, how can you
interesting.
buy? Because you know your window is this year, and then who knows after that type of thing.
Well, buy like you send picks for a player. If you got
I just don't
like,
see
a
them
bunch of
making any
seconds.
like big splashes.
Yeah.
I don't
They
think
be
it's a big
quiet.
splash situation either, but I'm just saying, like, if I have to choose either buy or sell, I think they're more likely to buy.
That, yeah, and also I think I'm seeing is that like there's a lot of sellers this year. I think there's a lot of players available, and I think that's making it a kind of like buyer's market where you'll be able to
Yeah.
get guys for cheaper.
Mhm.
So I could see them getting some, someone who in the like if it was a worse, season for buyers, they might not have acquired, but like toss one of those second rounders that they just got for like a top 6 like forward, like a second like something like that, like a second line winger. I could see them doing something like that, but it's not going to be anything crazy.
And I will say, last thing on Pittsburgh, that when Crosby misses time, usually Malkin steps up. So I think
Yeah.
he's known to, when Crosby's not there, he like ups his game a little bit, and he becomes more talismanic for this team. And I think if you have Malkin, I know we're past trade deadlines in most leagues, but if you have Malkin, I'd probably be happy holding at this point. Like, we've been like sell high, sell high, sell high. If you can sell high on the production, then great. But I'm really happy to have him on my team, especially leading into the playoffs with the schedule that they have.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to Kevin's favorite number.
Number 2.
At
It really does.
number 2.
It hits different.
I wish I had
I'm not
water
just saying
from my
that because we're
throat, but, you
Canadian.
know.
But at number 2, we've got Gabe Landeskog of the Colorado Avalanche. 4-game week. He's on line 1, power play 1. Super volatile, right, with the deployment. So he can easily not be there next week. But it's hard not to recommend a guy of his, potential with that deployment on a 4-game week. So it just everything is lining up for him to be a great stream for the week. And if he can keep that deployment, if he keep either line 1 or power play 1, ideally both, then he's a phenomenal pickup like rest of the season. Again, like I said, it's super volatile. I wouldn't bank on him keeping that deployment, but as long as he's on there, it's a great pickup.
We talked about Landeskog. Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I cannot believe he got 2 shots, 9 faceoffs, and 4 hits in his
I was
last
just
game.
about to say. And
that's
4
a
pims.
healthy player. 4 pims too. Like that 21 minutes of ice time, like that's a healthy player to and Landeskog, the issue's always been staying healthy. So it's a weird one here because the power play 1 should mean something on the best team in the league. It doesn't mean anything, but it does mean more minutes, so higher chance of potentially scoring. I guess that's kind of the crux of all of it anyways, but with how bad they've been on the power play, I wouldn't put too much stock into it. What I will say is that this Landeskog, McKinnon, and used to be Rantanen line was the line that they use and went to the Stanley Cup and won. So I would think that if he is fully healthy, they're going to try that, but with Natchez now, obviously, instead of Rantanen.
A better version of Rantanen.
Yeah, exactly. And
Only
I really think that there's a decent chance that this deployment is more stable than we're thinking. Obviously, this year has been completely all over the place, but, kind of turning the page after the Olympics, now he may be almost at 100% health. If that is the case, and he does stay line 1, even if he gets bumped off power play 1, I'm still very interested, and I think he could have a tremendous finish.
Yeah. Not too much to add. I just think that Landeskog, the question has always been his deployment. If he has a deployment, he's always been a great fantasy pick. It's just like the risk, the reward when you don't know if it's there. Now we know it's there. He's available to stream. I think he's a phenomenal pickup, especially in bangers leagues.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to
number 1.
At number 1, we have my boy Elias Lindholm of the Boston Bruins. Line 1, power play 1 center, playing with Pasta. He has 4-game week. The week after he has a 3-game week, and then all 4-game weeks. So this is a great rest of season pickup. Obviously, the deployment already and like how he's been playing all year is really sick. But just pretty much 4-game weeks for the rest of the way is really nice to see. So he's gonna win you faceoffs. He'll get you like 1 shot, 1 hit, 1 block. And then he'll get you like a power play assist. That's a classic Elias Lindholm stat line. And 4 games a week for the rest of the season. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, this is just a scheduled pickup. And what's very encouraging also is that I don't think any of us expected Boston to still be so close in the playoff race at this point into the season. So the fact that they are means that, it's within reach for them. That means they're still going to try hard. So whether they make it or not, that's a different question. I think a lot of us have them being bumped out for somebody else that's outside of the playoff picture currently. But the fact that they're in the race is very encouraging. They have one of the best power plays in the league, which is so shocking to me, to be honest. But listen, he's like the clear line 1C on this team. I think you're exposed to the best players. He has good category coverage, even though it's not like elite numbers at either of them. I think it's a great pick. He's number one for a reason. I think we put him number one because of how valuable he can be for you rest of season. Like, yeah, this week, 4-game week, it's great, but if you can hold him all the way until the end of the playoffs, like that's super valuable.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on to our top 5 bangers? Capital B. These are under 20% owned. New change we made recently because the 40% was too high for bangers. So we're seeing some more interesting names with this under 20%. And honestly, we'll see how it goes. But if we feel we're still repeating ourselves, we might even drop lower for next season.
Yes, absolutely. I do have a few Profaces because I do think they're definitely worth mentioning here. Like, there's 2 names that I think are glaring that people are asking a lot of questions about. Do you want to talk about them after? Or should I talk about them?
No, let's do them like honorable mentions. Yeah.
Okay. Well, honorable mentions to me, it's Simon Edvinsson and Connor Clifton.
Yeah, those are 2 big names. So, well, let's start with Clifton. I think that's a more kind of like clear cut one. He's been all season an elite banger, but he just keeps getting scratched every couple games. I tried picking him up at some point this year, and then he got scratched. I got burned by it. I was like a high risk, high reward. I know I was getting into. To me, you can't hold a guy who can be scratched any game. I just don't think it's viable. I'm seeing that, people like Penguins fans want to trade for a defenseman so that they don't have to play Clifton. Like, he's just not the coach. I don't think anyone likes him on the team, honestly. It's rough. So I'm not interested in Clifton despite his elite hits and solid blocks. So I think that's a pretty
to me the main question is that, like, I completely agree with you, but I think right now they're kind of forced into playing him more because they're losing healthy bodies. So if he's on this roster, like, this guy's can average like over 5 hits a game, it feels like. And if he's getting decent minutes, like, he can get the blocks too. And I just feel like that's something that's in bangers leagues, category bangers league specifically, I think that's pretty valuable. Like, somebody's gonna pick him up in our league, I'm absolutely certain, especially with the Pittsburgh playoff schedule.
I don't know. I think it's just too risky with the fact that he can get scratched any game or other. Like, but that's just me. Look, the
but
upside's
who are they
there.
scratching him for? He's also on their PK1 unit right now, and if somebody's on PK1, I feel like that's not a guy that's like probably going to get scratched.
I don't know. I've been monitoring all season because he has been super interesting for bangers, and just they're willing to play the randomest names over him. Like, you're saying who will replace him? I don't know, but they'll find someone, and also, like, they just got Gerard, so losing him is not the biggest thing because they literally just got him. And they traded away Kulak, but they had just gotten Kulak. Yeah, but they had just gotten Kulak also.
Yeah.
Like, even before Gerard or Kulak were there, Clifton was getting scratched. So, like, them not being there, it doesn't make me think that he's less likely to get scratched. But that's the biggest thing with him. I've just been seeing
people ask about Connor Clifton, and I definitely think it's worth a conversation.
I think it's worth mentioning.
He could be like a Lozon type of thing if he's playing games.
It's a big if.
Yeah. But right now, it's happening.
Yeah. And for Edvinsson, I was debating putting him here. I ended up putting someone else on that team instead.
Yeah. I think he's better.
In terms of, like, less leagues have blocks than hits. So, but in terms of blocks, he might be
I think it's the
best.
opposite, actually. A lot of standard leagues have blocks and not hits.
Oh, I find that surprising. I thought blocks was more rare, but yeah. So then in blocks leagues, I love Edvinsson. He's been a monster for that. That's, I think, his main asset, but he does it at such a high level that he's definitely worth mentioning. He could have easily been on this list.
Yeah, I mean, between the two, obviously they completely do different things. Clifton's hits, Edmonton's blocks. I think the deployment, even on Buffalo, I'm pretty sure I remember Clifton kind of getting scratched here and there. So it's one of those things that he's not a mainstay in the lineup, but yeah, if he plays and Pittsburgh has that schedule, the volume combined with the sheer amount of hits that he gets in a game, like, he could finish the year with the most hits in the league at this rate. It's nuts. But I also agree that Edvinsson is a much safer pick for what he does. He's gonna pay dividends there. And also, like, he's a pretty big part of the actual team. He's probably like their second most important defenseman.
He plays with Cider. Now, it was Sherrod before, but now it's Cider.
Yeah.
So now it's Edvinsson.
Yeah, I'm also pretty sure he was like a really high pick a few years ago, and we know I love looking at that.
Well, JK looks that up. We can get into the top 5.
6
bangers.
Overall, 2021. Jeez.
Whoa!
How tall is he though?
Actually, extremely tall. 6'6". 6'6".
Protas, get out of here!
Literally.
Yeah, no, I love the Edvinsson mention. But yeah, that's mainly a blocks pickup.
Yep.
All right, let's get into number 5.
At number 5, we've got Mark Kastelik of the Boston Bruins, averaging 1.3 shots per game, 2.8 hits, face-off wins, and PIMs. He has a 4-game week this week, but like we mentioned with Lindholm, other than the 3-game week next week, he's got all 4 gamers rest of the season. So I like him as a lot as like a kind of guy you just plug in to your lineup and you just hold him rest of the season, because 4 games of those like shots, PIMs, hits, face-off wins from a winger is a really nice way to round out your roster.
Blocks aren't irrelevant either for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. 0.83
So
on the season is not irrelevant from a forward.
Yeah, Noah Lachari light.
Yeah,
light,
exactly.
but still.
I was gonna say I think he was like the OG Jack McBain, but with a less cool nickname. Mendoza.
Exactly.
But I know a lot of people in the Discord were holding him like throughout the season for that specific playoff push because of all the categories he can touch in Bangers League. So yep.
Yeah. All right, let's go to
number 4.
At number 4, we have Jakey's best friend, Bobby McMahon of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
For now, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, he's got a 4-game week this week and next week. That could change if he gets traded. But I'm seeing there's possibilities of a extension as well. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he's getting traded. He's over a double-double with points potential. He's been playing line 1. So we had made the comparison the previous week to like Dylan Holloway. I think Holloway's better points-wise, but McMahon, could easily be like a 0.5 points with the over double-double, which I feel like is a really solid pickup, especially for 2 4-game weeks.
Yeah.
I like him a lot if he gets traded.
That's exactly what I think about it too. Sorry.
I hope this week he gets traded because I feel like he could have a really good opportunity wherever he goes. Like he could be the perfect like line 2 winger that's getting you a double-double, like a mini Dylan Holloway type of thing. I see that in his range of outcomes.
For sure. I play him next week, though, so I'm hoping for not that. But maybe he gets traded to Washington, which is a 2-game week, and that would be nice for me.
Oh, that actually would be good. You just spoke it into existence.
Yeah, that'd be sick. All right, let's go to
number 3.
Number 3, my wife's crush, who she definitely didn't name our son after. We've got Ben Sherratt of the Detroit Red Wings. He's got a 4-game week this week, 3-game next week. He's got averaging 1.2 shots, over 2 hits, over 2 blocks. Hovering around both, 2 for both, but still 2 and 2 on hits and blocks is kind of exactly what you want out of a Bangers defenseman, especially with the 4-game week. We'd mentioned Edvinsson, Sherratt, like which one do you want? I view Sherratt as more balanced, like you're going to get hits and blocks. I view Edvinsson as like a high hit blocks upside, but I don't expect him to get as many hits. So it really is what you need in your matchup. But Sherratt's been maintaining around 2 of each all season, which is really nice to see.
The only thing with Sherratt is, as a Sherratt owner, I've noticed that his ice time really fluctuates. Like some games he'll play 25 minutes, some games he'll play 16 minutes. No rhyme or reason. It's just kind of, I guess, how the game flow is going and how they decide to jumble the lines. But I think leading into this end of season push, I think both him and Edvinsson are going to be really, really like highly mentioned Bangers League guys to like stream. I think there's just going to be names that are in the circle when you just stream hits and blocks. These are 2 of the names that are going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I said that Edvinsson the second most important on this team is because he has such good ice time, and you're right, it fluctuates with Sherratt. So Edvinsson's a bit safer, but fair enough that he's here on this list, Sherratt, because he does have the hits.
And both of them are pretty good for PIMs if you need like that extra upside when you're trying to decide between two players.
From his Habs days, Sherratt was the king of delay of game penalties when you like least need it. Like he was like, I'm getting tired. I'm just gonna launch this over the glass.
Josh at the Olympics trying to get some ice time and just like
exactly. That's literally you know what? So I bet Matvei Michkov listens to our podcast because he did exactly what I said I was gonna do. He got a penalty so that he had to get ice time in overtime, and then he scored the OT winner coming out of the box.
He knew
it was the only way that what's his name? Take was going to play him in overtime was him coming out of the penalty box. So look, you guys laughed at me for that strategy, but it clearly works. All right, let's go to Kevin's favorite number and least favorite player.
I was gonna say I feel like you should have put him like number 1, but I also think it makes sense that he's at the best number here because at number 2,
we've got Mathieu Olivier of the Columbus Blue Jackets, the much fabled, the man, the myth, the legend. He's got, as we mentioned with the Columbus guys earlier, 4-game weeks every week until week 23. So this is a huge pickup and just plug onto your roster for the next 4 weeks. He's got averaging 1.4 shots, 3.7 hits, 0.7 blocks, which is not nothing. And obviously the PIMs are huge. And guaranteed 3 4-point games next week for sure because he's playing against me. And when he plays me or Kevin, I don't get it because Kevin roasts him, so I get the revenge there. I've only shown respect to Matthew Olivier, but I guess he just likes just bullying me for fun. But yeah, so I'm not looking forward to playing against him next week. But if you guys want to look, last time you guys got in on the memes, everyone was so happy. Like when he was playing Kevin like 2 weeks ago, everyone in the chat was like, "Oh my god, I only picked him up for the memes because he's playing Kevin. He's putting up like these multi-point games." You know, like,
I was losing my mind, guys. I don't think I've ever been. I think the Olympics finals was like more detrimental to my mental health. But playing against Matthew Olivier after I talk and then he came
Bleep.
and talk bleep, and then he came and did what he did to me.
and had his way with you. Yeah,
He did
for sure.
He did unspeakable things to my fantasy team.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to survive. I mean, Kevin got lucky. It was like a 4-game week when he played Olivier, and one of those games got postponed. So like,
Yeah, and he still went off. So like,
I know.
imagine if he had 4 games.
Yeah, so
I'd be
I'm
at
kind of
DER.
scared for this coming week, but I definitely think he's a very strong pickup. Like I said, for the next month.
I think I'm just like strategically not saying anything about him because he has
That's
not
true.
come for me yet. Every time I play him, like it's not noticeable how brutal it is. So
Last
I think
game he
my
got 5
strategy is
shots.
just let him do his thing, you know?
5 shots, 3 hits last game.
He's
I know, I saw
preparing.
that, and I'm like, he's
preparing
gearing up
ramping
for the
up.
week.
He's ramping up. And then his last points, he had January 28th, January 30th. He had 2 2-point games back to back, and that was,
Was that
against
against you?
That was against me.
That's what happened last time, and then he put up 0 points for 2 weeks, and then he played me, and then did the same thing. So
He's-
2 games
This is
later, he
gonna
got
be-
2
it's gonna be
games.
rough.
2 games later, guys, on February 3rd, he had 2 goals, and he only had 1 shot that game. So, do with that what you will.
That's a 200% shooting percentage. That has
This
to
guy is
regress.
insane.
Wait, what actually happened? Do you remember?
I don't know. He
It was
probably
probably
was the last
like an-
person
like
to
an
touch the
own goal
puck
or
and-
something.
Yeah. But of course, it had to be Matthew Olivier.
I feel like he
That's
like gives
unreal.
the puck to the other team. He's like, you know what to do, and then the guy just puts it in the net.
He's like, I'm playing against Kevin this week, so and the other guy's like, say less.
2 goals on 1 shot is actually so funny.
I can't wait to see what he does against your team, Josh. If he actually does go off, like guys, like
This is it. Well, we're gonna start making like at the start of the season. We'll post the weeks that we're playing against Matthew Olivier, just so you know in advance when you need to have him.
Oh
insane.
god.
Yeah. All right. Let's go
Wow.
to.
I'm surprised this guy's still less than 20% owned, but at number 1,
All right. It might be cheating because he's at 20%. So I don't know if we were going
You
like
did
less
this
than or
again.
equal.
Yeah, you
Or,
said that last week. You're less than or equal.
Yeah, but you know what? If he's still at exactly 20 next week, I won't mention him because it's good to get some variety in here. But for now, we've got Jeremy Lauzon of the Vegas Golden Knights, a 4-game week again, and he's doing everything you want from a Bangers D. You know, he's getting 1 shot, 3.8 hits, 1.6 blocks, penalty minutes as well, averaging like over 17 minutes a night. I think, you know, this is just a no-brainer. But again, maybe the 20% on the nose was a bit of a cop-out, so next week I won't mention him again.
I mean 20% he's definitely still worth mentioning. He's basically Connor Clifton if Connor Clifton played like 20 to 24 minutes a night, to be honest.
wasn't
But, like
getting scratched.
Connor Clifton
Yeah.
wishes. But last game he got 10 hits against me, so very happy about that. 10 hits,
You know,
2
it's-
2 blocks, 5 pins.
Yeah. You know, it's good when you're looking at his game log and a 4-hit game is like, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it feels.
You're seeing a lot of 5 hits, 6 hits, 10 is nuts, but it happened. Plus 5 pims. Oh god, poor you, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeez. Yeah. So this is
He just
this
does
is
it
like the easy number 1 there. And I
Yeah.
will say, I mean, on the season, his blocks are not bad,
They're
but
more encouraging lately.
yeah, it's ramping up a bit. If he ends up in the 2 block territory, I mean that's incredible. So in a Bangers league, he should be rostered everywhere.
I think it's just that comes with the ice time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the goalie section. On week 18.5, we didn't have any quantity guys for you, but we are back and better than ever. I think we got a great list of names here.
Mhm.
So let's get into our quantity goalies. Top 3. These are guys who should get you 2+ starts, under 40% owned as always. And let's get started with
Number 3.
At number 3, we have our Latvian king, Arturs Shilovs of the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're playing Boston, Buffalo, and then a back-to-back Philly and Boston. And it just seems like at this point, it's fully a 50-50 split with Stuart Skinner and Shilovs. I mean, the coach came out and said it. Like, he was asked, like, why are you playing Shilovs again? And he was like, look, they're both playing well. It's working for us, so we're just going to keep doing it. And Shilovs had a great game, so I'm pretty confident he's going to get 2 of these 4 starts. And look, these aren't like the easiest matchups, but I'm not like terrified or scared of like any of them.
So earlier in the episode, I said with the Crosby injury, maybe they're going to have to consolidate it and give it to one of the goalies. Skinner, assuming Skinner was clearly the better one, but honestly, I'm looking more into this, and like in the last 5 games he's played, Shilovs hasn't gotten below a 90 save percentage. He's gotten like a 938, 966, 92. Like, that's really good stuff. So if this is kind of the pattern that we see, it will be a 50-50. And for a I mean, I know you said quantity start, but it may actually even be a quality start as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is always to recommend both, but we focus on the quantity in this section.
Yeah. Yep.
We need to have a word that's like we know we always talk about alliteration kings, but like alliteration where it's the last letter of the name instead of the first letter of the name.
Yeah, that's just Latvian. If the letter is S, then it's everyone other than Teddy Bluger. He's the only Latvian to not have the S's.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to
number 2.
I hope everyone heard that, Kevin, like gearing up for that.
Yeah.
You got to get into it for those number 2s. But we've got Elvis Merzlikins of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Latvian
game for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of implied with the S names, but it's worth mentioning. 2 Latvians out of 3 recommendations. Very fun.
Yeah.
Actually, all 3 guys listed here Olympians? Yeah. Because, I mean, look, selected for the Olympics. Not all played because of injury, but yeah. Anyway, so they're playing Rangers and Nashville on a back-to-back. Love that. And then Florida and Utah, both winnable games as well. Columbus is pushing hard for playoff spot, and they're splitting starts between Elvis and Greaves. So I expect Elvis to get 2 of these starts. I'm really interested in that first back-to-back because I think, especially if you get the Rangers, oh, that's sick. But even Nashville, like, look, they're not as bad as we expected, but they're still not super scary.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Florida's worse than we expected. So, and Utah, is fine.
How do you like? I think we can agree that Greaves is like the better goalie out of the 2. Do you still anticipate this being a split moving forward, or do you think one guy kind of pulls away at some point? Either way,
honestly, like, I view it as pretty much a split the rest of the way. If for some reason I think Bonus prefers Elvis, but I think Greaves is good enough that he's forcing Bonus to keep splitting the starts.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask me why.
Yeah.
But that just like look
veteran presence or something.
Yeah, I mean, Greaves was playing every single game, including back-to-backs, right? And then Bonus comes in, and Elvis starts playing all the games. And then Elvis got injured a bit, so Greaves got in there. Greaves played well because he's actually a very good goalie. And so Bonus is like, all right, fine, I'll play you guys 50-50. So I think that I just
they both got shutouts
going
into the Olympics.
Yeah, it's hard to see one of them. Like, if one of them starts playing like garbage, then I think they're going to play the other one. They have to win games. But I just don't see that happening. So I think it's going to be a 50-50 moving forward, unless somehow Elvis gets traded at the deadline.
If I had to bet on one of them becoming garbage, it's Elvis, because I think Greaves has enough of a sample size. He's better, and I think he just has better quality in him.
Yeah.
And I also think if one of them were to run away with it, it would be Greaves. Do I think that's a high likelihood? Right now, we can't say that because of what we've seen on the ice. So
yeah,
I think
don't
both
think it's
are
likely,
worth
but he has the edge for sure. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, go for number 1. I have thoughts on this one. I mean, go for the next one, whatever that may be.
All right, at number 1.
At number 1, we have 6K, also known as UPL, also known as Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen of the Buffalo Sabres. They've got a 4-game week coming up: Vegas, Pittsburgh, Nashville, Tampa. I don't know why, but they're alternating starts in Buffalo. It's annoying to me as a Lion owner because Lion's been unreal, but thing is that UPL/6K/ Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has also been unreal. So it's hard to be like, oh, you're so dumb when they're still winning games. So this is another one of those situations. I mean, all 3 of these situations are like these 50-50s, right? And based on the back and forth, I expect 6K to get Pittsburgh and Tampa. which I'd rather get Vegas and Nashville, but I'm still like Buffalo's 6th place in the league, 6th in the league.
Yeah,
and
That's crazy.
they're just really good. So, and both goalies are playing unbelievable. So I'm super happy to grab him for 2 games this week.
So totally fair with regards to the actual team being the best. Like I crazy to say, but Buffalo maybe without Crosby on Pittsburgh there, I think Buffalo may be the best team that we have the goalies to choose from, between Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Buffalo. I will say, because of the matchups, I may actually prefer Merzlikins.
Whoa.
Yeah. just because like
I just think Buffalo's like a much better team.
Yeah, but Tampa,
I don't
Tampa's
fault you
gonna
for that.
win in all likelihood. Nashville,
That's gonna be a
like,
great game.
these are all really tough matchups, actually. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
only thing. So I agree, like, situationally, and also because none of them are 2 back-to-back, so there is a chance that, like, for some reason, Greaves could get all 3 games, something like that. That could happen. More likely, I'd say than Lyon getting it. So there is that element in the analysis as well. But overall, I just really don't like these matchups for Buffalo. There's a chance that they lose all 4. But that being said, Buffalo is the best team. So it's a really tough one here. Between the 3 goalies this week, this is one of the strongest quantity goalie weeks I think we've ever had.
These
Like,
are all
I'd
guys you
rather
can
these
hold the rest of
guys
the season.
over the quality guys any day. If these guys are available, like, for sure. So
Yeah. But no, I think it's a good point. It is hard to like decide when like you have like harder opponent, but the goalie's on a better team. So like
Yeah.
both are raised. It's hard to decide like what's more important to you, like the opponent or the team itself. I was thinking like, I guess one way I think about it is since, we always like that possibility of like season long hold. So I prefer to go with the one who's on the better team, because even though you have better opponents this week, in future weeks you might not, and so just being on the better team will be better off. But I think you can definitely be right that Elvis could have a better week than UPL just because of the matchups. Like that
Even
Rangers game
Shelov's,
should be a slam dunk.
yeah.
Yeah, she loves
Yeah.
too.
True, the Rangers game is like a big one. It should be.
Yeah,
it should
and same
be
with
huge.
Shelov's if he gets Philly, so they're like they have like some of those like really easy matchups, whereas Buffalo doesn't. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I still think I would go 6K and I would stand by this order, but I think these are all great options.
Yeah. Yeah, this I don't want to open like a huge can of worms here. You can see that like a huge portion of the league is going towards a tandem. I've been on the do not pick 2 goalies on the same team train for a long time. I wonder if I have to revisit that going into next year. But there's just so many tandem. Like, imagine owning Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Lyon right now. Like, could be worse.
The teams that do tandems don't have like a guy that they're paying a lot of money to. It's just like teams that are just like maybe they don't have the ability to have like that clear starter. And so they just rather just mix and match and put 2 medium guys in there. And because they're both maybe not having crazy workloads, they're able to be more fresh and have better performances.
For sure.
I think that
I think if they had a Vasilevsky, they'd be happy running a Vasilevsky and not having to have 2 guys.
For sure,
you know?
but it's just that archetype, the Sorokins, Vasilevskys. I mean, even Ottinger, like, he's taken like a backseat to DeSmith at certain points this season. Hellebuck is like a pure number 1. Like, they're rare. It's not as common as it used to be. Bro, Dury used to play like 75 games a season.
Yeah.
What?
It's crazy.
Like,
he's also a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
like,
I think it's definitely like worth pointing out. It's an interesting dynamic in the league, like they're shifting more towards that. And I think like the way like I look at it, like in terms of like future seasons, like how to draft, how to go 0G, stuff like that. I think it makes those volume starters way more valuable, like the guaranteed ones.
Yeah.
But also it makes 0G a way more viable strategy because there's like it's just impossible. Like when every team had one starter, there's 32 goalies, right? When half the teams have a tandem, there are now 50 goalies, right? And there's just you're playing in a 10, 12, 14 team league. Everyone holds 2 to 3 goalies. There's going to be some of those guys available. And every year there's a team or a goalie, that comes out of nowhere and is really good. And so, but I think there's just so many of those options. Like, look at both your teams. Jake, you're holding Bussy and Skinner, and Kevin, you're holding Askarov and Greaves.
Mm-hmm.
None of those guys, like, okay, Jake, you drafted Skinner, but then you dropped him and picked him. Like, you guys picked up your entire goalies.
Yes.
Like, I picked up Alex Lyon, who's probably my best goalie compared to my like garbage tandem that I drafted. Like, why would you ever draft a goalie
garbage
again?
Tandem.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I don't know. I think that, and the thing is, like, it's, you go like, volume versus quality, right? So ideal is get both, but it seems really hard to get. Like, you look at Hellebuck, right? He's got the volume, but he's not got the quality this year.
Mhm.
So, and you can't get. That's
Yeah.
why you don't draft goalies high, right? You just can't guarantee it, even if you can guarantee the volume. All that to say, I think like moving forward for me, like I as the season like winds down, I start taking notes for myself to remind myself for like next season ahead of the draft. And I'm not drafting a goalie. I'm doing what you guys did this year, but like I'm going like all the way. Like I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna draft 2 injured guys, and then I'll pick up 2 goalies in the first week or something, and that's what I'm gonna do. And we'll go from there because there's just why would you ever draft a goalie? I don't know.
100%. Yeah. No, I get
with
it.
these
I get
tandems.
it. Kevin, would you pick up Merzlikins given that you own Greaves?
I'm most likely going to drop Askarov.
Yeah.
And I've been tempted to pick up Elvis. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold Greaves. And the thing is, like, my roster is really, like, set in a place where I have 3 ads every week, and I'm always trying to maximize them, and I don't always have the opportunity to maximize them properly with all my forwards and defensemen. So at this point, I might just be like, okay, I'm just going to hold Greaves and stream, like, my goalie starts after that. Like, there's enough backups on the waiver wire that I can stream, like, back-to-backs. And
I will say, like, for your situation specifically, because Columbus has 4-game weeks pretty much rest of the season, it makes a lot of sense if you wanted to pick up Elvis because you're getting 2 starts out of both your goalies rest of the season. That's 2 starters. That's 2, most starters get 2 starts in a week. So for you, it actually, I think, makes a lot of sense to
I'm in
to
the same
grab Elvis.
situation with Shilovs on waivers, right? Like,
but you have
we're
Skinner
going
and
like,
Bussy.
Yeah, like I got.
You don't unless you want a third, but like you're not in the same predicament I am because Askarov sucks.
It's worth talking about because I'm sure other people have like a similar situation like to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so in this scenario, would you rather pick up Shilovs or Merzlikins, given that you have Greaves? It's an interesting one. I mean, like I guess that this could just be like. For all the
if I pick up
Shilovs,
it's a higher ceiling. And if I pick up Elvis, it's a higher floor because Elvis kind of like
pick up for you.
He solidifies my goalie stats, but I do think Shilovs is a better goalie than Elvis, and also like I have the opportunity to get 2 starters, like and I feel like to win championships you have to play for the upside. But if goalie is like my only bad part of my roster, then I feel like just stabilizing that situation also has a lot of value there. So it's like definitely worth the conversation. I mean, I'm gonna be frank. I think I'm dropping Askarov like later today to activate Edvinsson, and then I'm just going to see what to do. And then going into next week, I'll pick up one of the 2 of them, unless you guys are outbidding me. But
no, I have no.
I'm not grabbing a goalie.
I won't be.
I picked up Dvorsky and Maverick Bork, who I would be remiss if I did not say his name on this after the great game that he had last time he played. So just pointing it out.
Maverick Bork was a good call.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's worth it like to talk about this because I feel like other people are in a similar situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's go to our 3 quality goalies. These are guys who will get you, one good matchup. Again, under 40% owned. These are usually backups on who play a back-to-back with 2 easy opponents. So let's get into it.
Can I just give a preface? Like, I mean, we'll get into the names. Like, I feel like the other 3, it's quantity and quality. I just want to reiterate that. And I feel like if those are options, like, I'm pretty much prioritizing those over these for sure, right?
I mean, it really depends because I think that, like, a lot of times the quality ones are going to be better quality. Like, quantity, you have less options. Sometimes it lines up where you can get both, right? And, like, the goalies themselves in the quality ones are going to be, in the quantity ones, are going to be better quality goalies. Whereas in the quality ones, it's just going to be guys who are guaranteed having a weak opponent. So it really depends,
but I just
like,
mean
what you need.
This week specifically.
This week, I like all 3 of the quantity ones, so I agree with you.
I mean, I think Shilov's, like, if he plays Philly, I think that's a good spot start if he's available.
Yeah.
And, like, Elvis, if he plays New York Rangers, like, I'd probably be happy with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, let's get into these. At number 3.
At number 3, we have the guy who should be the starter for San Jose, but they're thinking about the future and not this year. So we've got Alex Nedeljkovic of the San Jose Sharks. They're playing a back-to-back St. Louis and Islanders. I know the Islanders are low-key on like a 4-game winning streak, but I still don't find them a scary opponent as a goalie. And St. Louis is obviously a joke, although Dylan Holloway's guaranteed like 3 goals a game for the rest of the season, so that's going to be pretty rough. But no.
Don't forget our boy Dalibor.
Yeah, Dalibor, of course. But yeah, look, I think these are both great matchups. I think San Jose is still making a push for the playoffs. Celebrini didn't get a point last game, so I'm expecting an explosion, next week. But yeah, and honestly, if you look at the game log, Ned has been a much better goalie than Askarov. The reason they're going with Askarov is because he's their goalie of the future. Sure, yeah, but I mean, we're getting an easy matchup this week, so so we know he can do well with it. So I like it as a spot start a lot.
I'm gonna drop Askarov, and then we're gonna trade for like Dougie Hamilton or something.
I'm praying for a Dougie Hamilton to San Jose trade.
Or
Are
like
you
a
kidding
Tyler
me?
Myers. We're going to be like, let's beef up the defense finally.
Yeah.
Now that he's off Kevin's team.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, like the trade deadline makes dropping guys so much scarier because
Yes.
you don't want to drop someone right before their whole situation changes, right? So I'm in that position with some of my guys as well, and that's why it's like you want to kind of be played a bit safer leading up to trade deadline. You know,
And-
you want to drop your lower ceiling guys.
I've been holding Askarov so long because I think he's a good goalie. I think he's on a team that's like pushing for the playoffs. And also the strength of schedule for San Jose leading into the end of the season is like very good for goalies. Like they're not playing
Yeah.
always the best teams. So like all of that is like very encouraging for Askarov owners who are just like San Jose goalies. And yet like the performances are still bad. Like he was playing so well in the 2 periods. They were winning 1-0. And then the game ends, they lost 3-1 and he has like just right below a 900. So
Yeah.
it's like a cycle that is at this point I need to actually make some moves because if I don't shore up my goalie situation, then playoffs are going to be really difficult for me. But I
Yeah.
still have a lot of hope for him.
Yeah. Anyways, Ned is a good pickup.
Yes. But I also don't think Ned is a solution. Like I think if you give him more games, he's going to show you who he really is, type of thing. So that's just my.
I mean,
my
that's
take.
fair. I just feel like
We'll
he's
see.
only putting up good numbers, so like he deserves to be getting more starts than Askarov does. It's just that Askarov's their goalie of their future, so it makes sense why they're doing it. But I think Ned deserves it more based on his recent play.
The next one's exciting.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
All right, at number 2.
At number 2, we've got Jakub Dobesh of the Montreal Canadiens. They're playing a back-to-back Anaheim and LA. And honestly, I wasn't sure whether to put, because both Montembeault and Dobesh are under 40% owned. I could have put either one. And all season I've been saying I think Monty has the edge as the starter. But I don't know. Dobesh has been playing better. We're heading to crunch time. They have to play the guy who's getting them the better numbers. So
We're linked
either
to
way,
every goalie as well, which is scary to me.
Yeah. I mean, either way, Dobish is getting one of these starts, but you could be picking up the starter of the Habs with this one, and Anaheim and LA. Like Anaheim's actually rolling, but I still, not terrified of playing against them as a goalie. And LA, even with Panarin, sucks. Especially Kemper's guaranteed to let in like 5 goals the other way, so you'll get the win regardless.
Kevin, if you would be so kind to allow me to bet your house on this, I would bet Kevin's house that that Dobesh plays San Jose, so he gets 2 of the games. So I think he's going to get San Jose and probably LA, but maybe San Jose and Anaheim. Obviously, you'd rather San Jose LA, which is funny to say, but anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think. I think Dobesh is going to get 2 games next week, and I think that. Whichever opponent they play, it's a winnable game for the Canadians. Caveat: it is an away game, always a little bit tougher, but the Habs should have a reasonable chance to at least keep the game close. And I think Dobesh is a really good pickup, and I really do believe he's getting 2 games.
I think he's the main starter.
The Habs have struggled on that West Coast trip in the past, but
after what happened with the Islanders the other day, like I mean look, you can't blame it all on Montembeault. He changed his equipment and it looks kind of cool, new mask, new pads. So he's trying, but yeah, Dobesh, I said this on the last on the mailbag and hot topics episode. I really think that Dobesh is going to be the guy moving forward. And also, this has nothing to do with anything, but Matthew Shaper's so sick.
Yes.
He's so good.
I'm playing against
Oh
him
my
this
God.
week. He's got 2 goals against me.
Yeah,
He should have been on Team Canada. Like, I'm not saying that would have been the difference, but like throw away Doughty or
I think
Sanheim
Drew Doughty
or
really made a difference for us and the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think.
So like it's crazy. Like you looked at our like defense in the Olympics. Again, we're getting on tangents here. But you look at our defense in the Olympics. You're like, this is like an awful defense. And you're like, oh, Canada, I guess just doesn't have any good defenders. And you're like, oh wait, there's Matthew Shaver, there's Evan Bouchard, there's like they had options. They're just terrible GMs. I don't know.
A loophole for them to take Lane Hudson as well. Like I remember seeing like his dad wanted to get him on Team Canada. So anyway,
I will say, as we are Habs fans, I do need to address. Like, I'm seeing a lot of Binnington rumors. I'm seeing Bobrovsky rumors.
If we do Binnington, I don't think we're gonna do that. Like
I'm seeing Bobrovsky rumors. Flores out of the playoff picture. He's a free agent after this year, I think. So they're like,
yeah, let's trade for the guy who's having like the worst season of his career and is like 37 years old.
Yeah, he's got a big cap hit too. But
I trust Hughes and Gorton, and I think those are both terrible moves. So I'm not reading into the rumors because I don't think they would do something stupid.
Which one would be stupider?
Bobrovsky.
I think Bob would be stupider.
Yeah.
Even though you think I'm
Although at least Bob only has 1 year on his contract.
I was gonna say he's like, it's just this year. It's like a rental.
Yeah. I mean, both are stupid moves, but I guess Binnington would hurt us more because it would last more years. I
Yeah.
guess the only defense to Binnington is that maybe in front of a good team, he actually could be a good goalie.
Mm-hmm.
He has been.
Like that's
Yeah.
it. So
He
like
has been.
I still think
And
I think Bob would be
Bob's-
the worst move. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
Bob's
he's playing
excellent.
against a good. Yeah.
It's just this is like his I mean, I don't think he has like any more years in his career, whereas Binnington could be like they wanted him to be a franchise goalie. It's just that
Yeah.
they like
And
St.
his
Louis
value's
was
not-
not good.
I do like
year.
trading for a guy at his all-time low value. So, you know, like I feel like St. Louis might even have to like give something up to get rid of Binnington. I don't know. Maybe I'm like pushing it too far, but like I feel like they really want to get rid of him. So, if we can like do it that way, then maybe it's actually not the dumbest thing.
The more time passes, the more I'm like, it might not be like the worst thing. Because
Yeah.
I feel like we have a good decor and we have a good team in front of them. Like we can make some noise in the playoffs, guys. Like we could win
Yeah.
a round or two.
But
But-
I don't think so with our goalies. I mean,
No.
Dobish maybe can step up, but Monty just not the guy.
I think
Yeah.
they just need to stop playing Montembeau and give Dobish a chance, but
But then-
it's
but then
pretty risky to
Dobish
do
has
so with
faltered
less than a
too.
week to the trade
Yeah.
deadline.
Mhm.
So
It's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
interesting. I'm so excited for the trade deadline. I think that this could be one of the best trade deadline weeks. Obviously, they never like the deadline itself has gotten less exciting because a lot of trades happen like leading up to it.
Mhm.
But so far, there hasn't been like anything, right? And I think there's a lot of names out there. I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm going to
Yeah.
be super just refreshing nonstop. I can't wait.
Would you rather Stuart Skinner instead of Bobrovsky or Binnington?
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
We
mean,
need to make a TikTok about that.
the more that we're like talking about it, like my initial reaction was like Bennington would be so dumb, but like
I
the more
know.
we're thinking
I
about it, I'm
know.
like I actually don't hate that.
I
Like
know,
if we barely have to
Yeah.
give up anything to get him, which I think
They
like we
retain?
shouldn't have to. Like okay, if they retain, it's a no brainer. I think that's a great move, but I don't
We're
think they
probably
want to
sending Mantha
retain.
the other way.
Yeah,
I don't think we should.
like-
I don't think we should trade like for a goalie. Period. I think Fowler's going to be like good in his career, and
he's
Dobish.
he's
still
still got a
young.
few years until he like becomes that guy though.
Dobish
I don't
could
hate
hold
it.
down the fort. in the
My initial
meantime.
reaction was F Binnington, he sucks and I hate him. But like the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe it's not a bad move. Anyways, let's go to
Yeah, let's say the last one.
Yeah.
All right, at number one.
at number one, we've got he's like the classic number one guy on our quality goalies
Yeah.
recommendation every time he's available. And it's Casey DeSmith of the Dallas Stars. They're playing Vancouver and Calgary back to back. Can you ask for a better matchup, Dallas versus Vancouver, Calgary? Like, especially like trade deadline week, like they might trade away more assets. Vancouver's holding out their best player because of trade reasons. That's Tyler Myers, in case you guys didn't know who I was talking about. And you know what? It is a sad state of affairs when he genuinely is one of their like best players. Like this team is garbage. So, anyways, watch them light up my Joey Decor tonight. But yeah.
Probably.
So yeah, I love Smith. I mean, every time they have a back to back, I'm pretty confident. But when it's a back to back of this caliber of garbage
Yeah.
opponent, then I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, like this. So this fits the definition. Like for quality goalies, obviously he's number one, and it's a very good reason. That being said, with Dobish like getting the extra start, you know, it's close. This
This is the best
kinda
spot
close.
start though. Like if you have to
But
pick
easily,
one start this whole
easily.
week, less than like 40%, I'm going Casey
Yeah.
Smith against one of
1000%.
Vancouver or Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
1,000%.
God, they're so bad. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Both those teams are so bad. Oh
Yeah.
man, crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
I cannot wait
that
for the
was a
trade
good one.
deadline.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be.
think it's
it's
gonna
really
be spicy.
It's
I
gonna be an
know.
exciting week. It's gonna be a very
I
exciting
can't
week.
wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I just hope the Habs trade for not a goalie. Like we have other parts in the lineup that we can get better at. I like Kapanen. He's my boy, but we can definitely bolster our second line center.
I mean, I'm curious to see where Line ends up. I don't think he's
Mhm.
going to be a Hab by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Although I'm seeing stuff that like he really likes Montreal, but like I don't think he has a no move or anything like that, and I don't think
He
Montreal's a
doesn't
big
fit the
fan of
team.
him.
No.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see where he'll end up. There's just so much. I mean, there's like there's the Habs aspect, there's general NHL aspect, and there's my personal fantasy team aspect. I've got some players'
Yeah.
names out there. You know, there's also how it affects your
yeah.
players if other guys get traded. It's the most exciting week of honestly. It's like trade deadline. Like I find it up there with like the playoffs. Honestly, like I
It's so
get so
fun.
excited. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
Honestly,
It's-
the
and we have
best
some big
thing for
names this year
Laine,
too.
the best
Yeah.
thing for Laine is if he went to Carolina. If
Why?
he plays, in
Are you
Aho,
joking?
I swear to God.
Rod would literally murder him.
Rob would scratch
Yes,
him.
but that Finland connection with Aho from the World Juniors
Actually,
2016.
You have
that
Jarvis
might
on
be
your
the
team.
worst destination
What?
he could end up.
No. He'll be playing with Aho. And that was the best he's ever been, was in the World Juniors. When that line, Puljujärvi, Aho, and Laine, and Puljujärvi and Laine went like 2 and 4 overall, and Aho was a second-round pick, and he's by far the best player there. I just don't think Laine, like, I don't see where he's going to succeed, but I get it. Like, Ron's going to
succeed on Carolina, baby.
You know, it'd be crazy if he went to like San Jose and they just like, I mean, their defense already sucks, so they're definitely not going to do it. But like, imagine, did you guys see the rumor? Okay, we're getting on tangents here when we should be wrapping up. But did you guys see the rumors that San Jose's shopping Sherwood?
I saw that. I mean, I don't know how that started though, but like,
essentially, they traded for him, and then what I'm seeing is that they just can't come to an agreement on a contract extension. Like, apparently, he wants like 6 years at $5 million, or 5 years, $6 million. Like, he wants $30 million in 5 or 6 years, and they just think that's too high of a price. And so now they're like, maybe, like, I also saw people saying maybe they're just leaking that they're willing to trade him to help negotiations. So I don't know if it's like real, but it's interesting for sure.
That's a piece that you could use in like to get another player in return
Dougie
and
Hamilton?
be happy about it.
If Dougie goes to San Jose, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna have the Dougie Celebrini stack. That'd be disgusting.
I think that would actually be the best ever like trade to somewhere else mid-season for fantasy purposes.
Yeah,
like would that? I can't think of anything better. Like Sam Bennett to Florida was pretty high level when it happened.
Gensel to Carolina was good actually too. But like for what like for fantasy and for what the team actually needs, this is huge. Hopefully it actually happens.
It all hinges on Dougie just waving his no move. Like both teams are willing to do it.
There's a reason why he's put this team on his no move. He probably just doesn't want to play on the West Coast.
For sure.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting news episode this week and next week, so be sure to keep an eye out for those.
I mean, our news is going to come out like we're going to record like Tuesday, so I think next week's might be more exciting because like most of the trades might happen after it, but it's going to be an interesting week. But yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right. Thank you to everybody for listening to our Week 19 waivers episode. If you enjoyed the show, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and rate us 5 stars. We're almost at 100 5-star ratings on Spotify, which is pretty cool.
Crazy.
And Apple, we are reading those comments. We appreciate all the positive feedback for all you Apple podcasters. And wherever else you get your podcasts, subscribe.
Daily Motion.
Yeah, there you go. And
Daily Motion,
YouTube.
Centris, all that good stuff. Zillow.
Tumblr.
YouTube, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Join the Discord community. We spoke about it a bunch of times, so definitely a great place to be. And
especially
all the socials are in
week,
the podcast description. Yes,
with the trade deadline, we've got that breaking news channel, and
with you playing Mathieu Olivier.
Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. I will be in the fantasy venting Life Sucks channel a lot this week, it seems.
It's going to be a lot of fun times in the Discord this week. Okay, take it away, Ernie.
Bow, banger management, fantasy hockey podcast. Woo! 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 Woo!